All right, we're playing the second set now. Looks like Simon won the leg. It's now a race to 7. Alright, Simon's made a ball on the break, and he's made a nice shot on this one ball to get down here on the 2. So it looks like he can follow 2 rails out between the 5-9 towards the middle of the table for the 3. Perfect on that. That's the 4 ball up on the end rail up there.
Yeah, it is. Looks like he's trying to make sure that he's got kind of an angle where he's going to be running right toward that 4 ball.
Yeah, he's going to be coming really close to it.
Yeah, so he did that and
tried to force it over.
And left Sean straight in, I think. Yeah. So Sean really needs to...
He just needs to get straight in on this 5, basically.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's a good shot. You know, I mean, he needs to stay loose and stay out of his head, but at the same time, just be mindful and make sure he, you know, because it's really, you know how big that first game is. It's a big deal. Even though we're in the second set, it's still a big deal.
Yeah,
to get
absolutely.
that first game. It's a momentum thing.
You know, the two hardest games. You know, the first one and the last one. That whole thing.
Yeah. Good shot. Yeah, see, you know, and plus, you know, Sean, you know, he needs this. He needs to get this under his belt and get that set, that last set behind him. You know.
Definitely. Move on to the next set.
Nice. And he did it. You know, he took second, gathered himself there before the 9. And that's good. Good stuff. He hit those sounded hard. I wasn't looking. Oh, now I'm looking. It looks like
the 2 ball just rolled right up in front of the cue ball there, so he has a shot at inside.
Does he have an angle to draw back and open up that 3? I mean, I hate that. This is the thing. It's like, you know, the magic rack is really going to have an effect on the outcome of this shot, but all the balls are like covering it up. You know what I mean? And while I love the magic rack and the concept, and this is one of those.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage right here.
Yeah, I mean, because it's absolutely a factor on this shot, you know.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
could play a safe. Yeah, see? Did you see what happened there? He drew back and the magic rack twisted around, and now it's facing.
Did it move?
Cue ball made it spin.
Did it move any of the balls with it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that they would be talking about it because, you know, Simon's watching, and Sean would say something, but the backspin on the cue ball made or something made the magic rack, you know, twist around in a circle there.
Looks like he's just going to play safe here, try to duck behind. I think that's a 6 ball.
He played the bank.
No, he played the bank.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know what you're supposed to really. I mean, you know, down in Reno and stuff, on the TV table down there, you know, he had Ken Schumann coming down with the little tool,
right,
multiple balls, but like a lot of those players, when they get in a groove, they never move it. They just leave it on the table the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's a 4 way up there, or is it down here? Oh, this is the 4 down here.
It's the 4 down here.
Wow. Well, actually, he left Sean perfect to go 1 rail or 2 rails toward that 4.
Yeah, he could. It depends which side you want to be on to come back for the 5.
Yeah. See, here's something to think about. Like right now, he's looking. See, but he needs to make sure that he stays above the angle so that he avoids hitting the 9 to get back up table, right?
So the easiest way to avoid it is to be on the left side of the 4, which he's tried to do, and he overhit it.
Yeah, and see, he went left-handed there. And actually, in the middle of that shot, I noticed, like, as the cue ball traveled, that if he would have played center of the table, he had the 4 here to cut the 4 in the other pocket to the right, and go 2 rails, maybe, you know, up there, like to the side rail to the right. But who knows? Ultimately, if he didn't come up short here, I mean, if he runs another 6 inches, he has the shot on, you know, that he really needs on that 4 ball. Even if Simon can see the ball, I think.
Looks like he can see the 4 to make it, and then bump
he's going to be able
5.
to bump it. From where I'm looking, actually, he can just, if he could draw to the right, he can play the 5 in the same corner.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. So he could do this. It looks like he's going to follow with a little bit of inside to try and avoid. Oh, no, he didn't. Wow. But this actually, well, I mean, if he's dead straight, you know, he might just play a stop shot. But I think he might have a little angle to go to the bottom rail and up.
Yeah, looks like he has just a hint of angle.
Yeah.
Looks like he's pretty straight again.
Yeah. Oh, he's elevating here. Must be just drawing back. Yeah. Oh, look outside pocket.
Simon ties it up.
Yeah. Simon sure is solid. You know, he's a great pocketer, ball pocketer, shot maker.
Oh, no doubt about that. He breaks them pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't changed spots at all. He's digging that spot. Made a ball and got
perfect on the one.
Yeah, I mean here's another. See, that's the 3, the 2 ball to the right of the cue ball. Looks like the 6 could get funny down here, right next to the 9.
Right. But the 6, the 6 does go in that bottom right corner, and also probably the bottom left also.
Right. Yeah, and at worst he plays the 6 and rubs off the 9 and comes up. I mean, with the 7 hanging by the side pocket where it is, it shouldn't be that tough to negotiate.
He's going to follow up one rail.
Came up a little short there.
A little short. He was shooting it with the extension. Yeah, lots of people have those now. I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, Sean's got one of the ones, the DeRue or whatever. Sean has one on his cue. You just don't see it very often. So this shot is tricky. I mean, you can sort of drag with inside and spin down, but you have to miss that 4 ball if you're going to come back across. That's a good shot. He just accepted a thinner cut on the 3, and
ideally he would have liked to have come over a few more inches.
Yeah. Yeah, and that that all started because he fell a little bit short on that first shot.
He's going up and down table, and he's hit the 6 and the 9.
Yeah, there's a tester here. Now you can play if you have a choice, you can play it in either the left or the right pocket.
And the 6 does go past the 8.
Yeah, I think both of them require that you really control your speed, but I like cutting it to the right pocket because now you're coming right at the 6 ball.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Wants to come back, but he doesn't want to leave himself jacked up over that 8 ball. So he wants to run. Yeah, just get by that. That's good.
Yeah,
so he didn't have the draw angle.
Good.
Thought he was like close to straight in there.
Yeah, but he is straight on the 7, so you can just draw straight back for the 8. Or you can follow the rail. He has just a hair of angle.
Yeah. Stroke, good shot, good control. Yeah, Simon's playing good, of course. Right. I mean, gotta expect that he's going to. It's good out.
2-1 Simon.
I don't know, 8 ball killer. Sean's a great player, but he's a working man, working 40 plus hours a week, and plays pool, competes maybe once a month at a level like this, maybe once a month, and then you got Simon, who's I don't know if Simon's working or what he's doing these days, but I know that there was a long period where he didn't and just played pool, But in any case, talking to Sean earlier, he said, I said, how you feeling? He goes, getting a little tired, and I know I got to get up and go to work in the morning. So I'm hoping to win in 1 set. So I know they're both tired. But they're both of them have played great. Hats off to Sean and Simon. I just know that I'm proud of Sean for making it this far, getting into the finals, considering how little he plays. These days anyway. Suzanne knows Simon's working these days too. Yeah, I used to see Simon all the time back in the olden days when they'd all come down, but I haven't seen him in at least probably 7 to 10 years. It's been since I saw him last.
So Sean's got a kick on this too here. Kick behind it, stuck it. He's going to not leave much for Simon.
No, he's well, the good news for Simon is if he could stiff this bank, that 5 ball over there makes the bank, that pocket, really big.
Right.
But I don't know if you know, I mean, good things can happen here, but I don't know if it's the right shot. It's playable, and he's looking at it right now. He's definitely wanting to be aggressive here, so. Okay, he did play it, yeah. So it's a good shot. And
stuffed that 2 ball in there past the 5 or 4 or 5.
It looks like he might have tied up to 4 or 5. I can't tell if that goes in the corner, but he accepted also a bank on the 3 coming away from that shot. You know, knowing that he's going to be. So this, I'm not sure what he's going to do here. I mean, I kind of like banking the 3 up in the corner because there's a safety built in.
And it looks to me like the 4 does go.
Does it? Yeah, see, I like the way he played that. Oh, but look at this. He might have given up the shot. No, he has not. Simon has not dominated the February freeze. Actually, I think Damien Pong Panic won it 2 years ago, right? And then a couple of years ago he won it. Yeah. There was Right. I think it might have been the Thanksgiving because I watched I was at the last one, and then the year before that, I'm pretty sure Damien won that. Yeah, if Simon, I think Simon might have won the Thanksgiving one. But the year before that, I wasn't playing pool, so it could have been 3 years ago. Oh, it's all good. I actually I've been disconnected from pool for like 4 or 5 years prior to 2 years ago. So I mean, it's very conceivable that Simon could have been winning that tournament, right before that, and I don't know. Damien Pong Panic and I are buddies, so I happened to travel with him to the last February freeze, and then the one before that I watched online, and I think he won. So
I know that Simon was down there, and that tournament that he won, Cindy Sleva was on the hill first, and he ended up beating her. And he came back and won it.
Wow, you see that ball curve?
Yeah. So shooting it jacked up like that, you're actually massaging it a little bit.
Yeah, I remember Simon from the olden days when him and Mike Vitas used to come down and stuff. All those guys would come down. Man, feels like a million years ago, but whatever happened to Mike Vitas anyway? He was a great player.
I have no idea. But, Sean got managed to work out ball in hand there, and there's a combination on the 9.
Nice.
To score up.
2-2. '25th at the U.S. Open. That's good. Man, that field is tough. It's like these days that the Swanee tournament down in Southern California is becoming as tough of a field as the U.S. Open. Well, he slugged that break. Did he pocket? I don't think he's going to pocket a ball. Oh, he did pocket a ball.
Did the ball go flying in or something?
Yeah, must have.
Never shocked when Sean makes a ball in the break. Shocked when he doesn't. Him and John and they sit there and work for hours and hours and hours on that stuff and figure out ways to improve it and ways of moving the body or doing the hands, and tearing down, watching videos and tearing down pros breaks and things that they see them do that other people don't do, and it's pretty neat. They got their own little think tank.
Right. Yeah, it's for sure. I mean, Sean and I, we try to get together as much as we can. I got a table at my house, and he has the table at his house is great. He has one of these gold crowns. In fact, I think he bought his gold crown from here.
He did.
Right. But it's got like 4-inch pockets, very, very tight. And so we work out on his table at home and share stuff and talk about it. It's funny, coincidentally, when you're breaking down and analyzing breaks, we were talking about Shane Van Boning's break and how things that he's doing. Because I think it was Clark Smith who posted something on Facebook, a slow-mo of Shane's break. Talking about the little things that he does different. Yeah, it's fun to talk about that stuff.
Kevin had been watching it and things he does with his rack and his break, and some of the pattern racking and the way he does it for the 8-ball and the 9-ball, especially with the Magic rack. And it was pretty cool to see a couple of matches from this year's. If you go watch YouTube, you can see balls laying exactly the same way for simple run out and combinations on the 9, and almost every time he breaks. And it was from the bar table championships, just Reno. Yeah,
I was down there. I had a really good time. I'm still torn about the alternate break format. I mean, I like to see guys grab gears and stuff like that and put some packages together, but I also like to see stuff that's competitive. And I don't know. There's so many different ways of looking at it. I can't really say that one's better than the other. I just know that it's something that a lot of people spend a bunch of time arguing about. So, but Reno was a lot of fun. I played in the Reno, and I played in the bar table, and I played the One Pocket event, which was a lot of fun. I actually played Shane in the One Pocket event. Boy, that was quite an experience. Pretty good here. Right. It's a 4-ball in the center of the table, I think. So. Is it?
Yeah, it is, because the 5's at the end of the table. I can see the number on it from over here.
I wonder you can still make balls. You can see that far.
Yeah. Just roll forward, and he's rolling.
Roll a little further than he wanted to, huh?
Yeah. Just draw it back.
Right.
To the rail where he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, not even that far. He'd probably be a foot and a half. Oh, no, he's going to the bottom rail? Wow. It looked like he was going to cinch it until all of a sudden you could see him load up his stroke. And I used the word. I wanted to ask you, Sherry, have you heard about, because we were talking about, like Shane racking the balls, looking at his rack and his break. Have you heard about the people loading the 1-ball now? When they put the balls on the Magic rack and then they'll use their finger like Shane does and they'll touch the 1. Well, there's people talking about how there's something to that. Instead of just getting the ball frozen, they're loading the rack. So they're making it, talking about these days, once you get the balls set on the Magic rack, you're not allowed to touch them anymore. Just all this stuff, it's people looking for a reason. But I was wondering if you'd heard about anything similar to that.
I hadn't, and I actually touch them just to make sure. I know they're frozen. They're not. It's not guaranteed that they're frozen. If you've been watching all weekend, these balls are quite. They're pretty old. And they're different sizes, and the guys have been having a trouble racking with them. So these balls that they're playing on actually came from my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so this was the second set you guys brought in?
Yeah, these are Buster's balls.
Gotcha. I get you. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And so they're newer, so they're more equal in size, and they're fitting in the rack better. So what do you do if situations like we've been having all weekend, you're not allowed to touch them and they're still loose?
Yeah, I don't know. What are you going to do? You're never going to be able to make everybody happy either. That's the shame in certain things. But thanks, Suzanne. How am I ever supposed to match up and get a game around here with that one floating around?
What did I miss there? 3-6. Simon broke, so we need to update the score.
Oh, yeah, I'm stuffing the score too.
Yeah, I got it. It's 3-2 now in favor of Simon. I'm counting 9 balls on the table, and Sean's at the table.
Right. Okay, so let's see.
He's got an easy shot, starting shot on the 1 here.
Yeah, but the 2 doesn't pass the... I don't believe the 2 passes the 8 over here on the right rail, so he might be trying to draw between that 7 and deuce. He was.
That's exactly what he's trying to do. Did he
Yeah.
get there?
No, he didn't get there, but at least, you know, it's, you know you're hitting the balls well, too, when you have to really put that kind of a stroke on that ball and have it still... I mean, that ball wanted to stand up and look at him for a second, you know. And all week, guys have been doing that, hanging balls in those corners and stuff. He's looking like he's trying to cut this ball.
It must
wow,
go.
it did go. Great shot. It's got to run a little bit.
When he gets over there just a little bit, he can cut this ball up in the corner.
Yeah.
The only problem is this is the 4 ball on this end rail here.
No, I think...
4 balls on the bottom rail.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're right then. He's got to hit this with accuracy and then spin down off of the side rail. Oh, no, he
was going to let the long shot to maybe get him place-to-play save, anything.
But that's
just make the ball and stay at the table.
The way that he played that, though, tells me that that's got to be the... It just doesn't make sense how he drew his cue ball. Unless he was going to play the rail first shot on the 4.
Well, I'm looking at it playing live right on the internet right here. He could have played a safe possibly off of the side of the ball and tried to get him down table here.
Yeah. Oh no, if he was going after the shot, I was saying, I'm not sure which ball here is the 4 ball because he drew, right?
The hand rail here.
Yeah. Okay.
But because of that, I am surprised that he didn't play a safe when he had the ability to.
Right. Yeah, see, that was the 4 ball. So the 5 was down here on the end rail.
Oh, I was looking right at it, and I swore that that was the 5. But maybe my vision isn't that good. You want to look at him?
You might. I think that the only 2 people that have a good reason to be more tired than the players is you and Kevin. So. Wouldn't surprise me. It's not surprising that you might not be able to see without some...
A little blur.
Yeah.
Many hours, but you got to give to the game. If you really truly love the game, you have to give back to it. And it's my turn to give back.
Whidbey, no. In fact, Sean Lewis has been he's been switching back and forth pretty much the whole tournament between the hitting them head on and then hitting the cut and using the cut break, depending on the table. He was using the cut break against Simon in their match that he won to win the point, and it was effective. And then he went back to it, and it wasn't effective once he went back to it, so he abandoned it since. Is that 7 ball past the 8?
It doesn't look like it does.
He could really
he come
pound
all the way
this.
back up underneath it, and play it up in the corner, or try to come in around it.
Oh, this is going to get funny. He's probably going to have to play unless the 7 passes
it passes
the 9.
The 9.
Wow, then he
it looks like it's got a clear pocket. He's going to push the 8 ball towards the corner, though. If you clip it a little bit full, it hits the end rail, goes to the side rail. Yeah,
that was a collision-induced throw type, or I had a ball skid on me. Especially when you have to use a little bit of inside English. Yeah. The problem with this shot is he cannot avoid hitting the 8 unless he draws out of it. Really, jacks up, and then now your accuracy starts going, going downhill. I don't know.
It's a lot of things to control.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a tough situation. Looks like he's... he
fired that ball in and controlled the 8
nice.
Nicely. Yeah, Suzanne, you know a little bit about giving back, don't you?
She says, here, H-E-A-R, and then, here?
Yeah, she is the editor-in-chief, is that correct, Suzanne, of the Billiard magazine?
Sneaky Pete Mafia.
Sneaky Pete, yep.
Yep, I go on there on Sneaky Pete Mafia, and get involved in some of the chats and stuff like that. It's fun. Garrett does a good job of asking some questions that get juices flowing sometimes too. Boy, people get hot. People get, I mean, not just on like, you know, on Sneaky Pete Mafia, but all over on the internet. Anywhere where there's forums and stuff, it just seems, you know, even on, like on YouTube, I'll go on and look at a YouTube video and then see the comments, and people are oftentimes just, they find reasons just to be angry at one another and scream. There was an argument in this chat earlier today, I remember. It was like,
well, it's because I think just because they have an opinion that it's the right one. We're all entitled to have our own. Doesn't make us right.
Oh, he slugged that break. Is that the 2 ball tied up to the 9 though?
That is the deuce 9. I may have to get up if he decides he wants to play this 9 ball. I don't see him playing the billiard.
No.
The 2 ball's actually above the 9. He's looking at it.
Right.
2 balls just barely above the 9.
I'm not sure. There's a couple ways. I'm not sure. You can, if he thins the right side of the deuce from his vantage point, it looks like the deuce goes to the bottom rail, and then his cue ball can go 2 rails up table, sort of leaving a lot of distance. Or he can bank the deuce straight back up table. But and he completely missed it. So he was trying to do what I said and just thin the deuce, sending, and it would have billiard, you know, straight down coming off the 9. But he missed it. So Sean, looks like Sean might try and play a 3 foul on him.
Yeah, we are playing a 3 foul, and you put it down the table, and do something productive. I see so many times people take something that's locked up and just barely nip it and put the cue ball somewhere. But now when you get ball in hand, what are you going to do now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if you're trying to, you know, if you're going to play to hook a guy knowing you're going to be coming back to the table, you want to try and at least make sure that coming back to the table you're going to be able to run out, if that, you know, and give yourself at least a chance to win the game.
Yeah, give yourself the opportunity to win the game instead of just, you know, just barely nudging a ball. Now, you know, if he's got a bunch of things are out in the open, the only option you have is to tie something up. It's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But I see a lot of people do that, and just you know, be productive with your safeties too.
Right. Yeah, it's. A lot of people, you know, even myself, you know, I play in rotation. You know, these games, I really have, over the years, you know, looking back, I can remember, you know, finding myself not bearing down as hard on certain safeties type of shots where you're just kind of maybe clipping the edge of a ball and playing into an area and stuff like that. But when you start to get to be a better player, and you have confidence knowing that if you win ball in hand from that situation, that you're going to run out, you know, that starts to inspire you to be a little bit more accurate on even your safeties.
Absolutely. Oh, Sean's rattled this ball. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And that reason there is why a lot of people, when they get into those safety battles, the open, you know, your B players, maybe even the bottom of your A players, is because they're not concentrating as much as they are when they're pocketing balls. Now, when you get up there, you're not being as precise. You hadn't been as precise for 10, 15 shots, you know, whatever that battle lasted.
Exactly. And
that's, you know, you'll see them start to rattle balls right after that. And it's the better players that, because they're paying attention to exactly here still.
Right, and that's, you know, that you bring up another good point. That's exactly why a lot of players, they use that playing one pocket. You get into that habit of haphazardly going through the moves, because you come into the table every other inning to shoot a shot, and it's a move. You're ticking off of the ball. You're playing safe, just these little, you know, just bumping stuff around. And then after a while, all of a sudden you've been moving and you're, you know, back and forth, and now you win yourself the shot, but it's a long, sort of off angle, and you've taken yourself out of stroke. and that's the big excuse that a lot of people, a lot of players, you know, they say that, well, one pocket takes, yeah, right, there's a one pocket, I get out of stroke play in one pocket. Well, it's not. If you give as much attention to all the shots, as well as, you know, as much attention as you would when you're pocketing balls or running balls, you can stay in stroke play in one pocket too.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's just you know, it's all perspective, and you know, and how you want to approach the game mentally and stuff. So.
Meanwhile, Simon's missed the 7 here, and Sean's going to get another chance at this table.
Yeah. So what do you like here? Do you like cutting the 7 to the right or the left? I mean, it's either way. It's tough. I like cutting it to the right, but
I'm more of a lot of people don't like the blind side. I do. I worked actually a lot with shots like this with, you know, Billy. One of his best friends was Cole Dixon. Cole used to come into town and play, and these backward cuts is something that he worked on. Cutting the ball, period, he was great at, but these backwards cuts was what he worked on big time with me, and I love them.
Yeah.
People play safe a lot for stuff like that too, especially in 8-ball, or the thin cut down the rail, and because of that, I'll shoot him in all day long. I love him.
Sean's got a, you know, he's trying to, he wants to avoid.
It's more natural to come to the 8 too, going with it to the right.
And you know, I like that too. And it looks like he's laboring over how close to that corner pocket. Yeah, the cue ball is going, the left corner pocket, and he's thinking, well, maybe I can use a little bit of inside draw, you know, and hit the side rail first. And so right now I think he's arguing with himself, which is the right way. He knows he's coming close. He's going to be coming really, really deep into that corner pocket, and he's trying to figure what's the best way, you know. Let's see what he decides here.
And you want to make sure that your contact point's perfect when you're shooting into that blind hole.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when you can't look down to the throat of it or whatever, you know, that's the only thing you have to judge, to go on.
Yeah, see, and you know, and he missed the ball because, like I said, he was trying to, he dug into the cue ball trying to hold it to hit that side rail, and because he wanted to avoid, you know, going into that pocket. And you know, and I can't doubt his decision. I just, you know, I could tell that watching him how much he was laboring over a decision, and sometimes you got to ask yourself, you know, if you're really trying to force a situation, is it the right one? Who knows? I mean, no matter what in that spot, either shot he chooses is a tough one. So I can't say either way was right or wrong.
Well,
you know?
And that one, I like to stroke the ball a little bit more. So, and you get to do that shooting it the other way. If I'm shooting it to that left-hand corner pocket, I'm going to try to more roll that ball in, because if you hit it harder, it's going to go kind of the trajectory towards the corner pocket. You would have to more roll that ball, and I like to know what line my ball's taken rather than let the table dictate that.
Right. Right. Yeah, and that's good. I mean, if you get to a point in your game where you're confident that you can stroke everything, you know, and depend on your stroke and a sense of consistency with the speed of your stroke too, right? I mean, you're gonna your ability, you know, your run out percentages go through the roof too.
Well, and that's something that drills and things like that people hate doing, and I was one of the ones for a long time. Hate drills, but that's what it teaches you, is the consistency, and knowing not just how to play pool. You know, it's left English, right English, but your center left and my center left can do two completely different things because just of the stroke that we put on the ball.
Absolutely.
How you address the ball and cue it and things like that. So it's learning your game is huge.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like Bert Kinnister, for instance. He says everybody's center ball is different. Yep. You know, and it's true. You know, so I mean, I believe that. And plus, right, everybody's different. Everybody's fundamentals are going to be a little bit different for each, and you know, each individual.
I've fallen more times than you have, or tripped, or you know, whatever. You know, So many different things that happen to us in life. They affect your stance. They affect your grips. Everything. And a lot of people don't consider that either.
Yeah.
You're supposed to stand like this. You're supposed to, but you're not. I mean, if you were absolutely perfect, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and and that's the things that that we're talking about is such. It's amazing how misunderstood this game is, and a lot of that is a byproduct of back in the olden days. On ESPN, when you wanted to watch pool, you turn on and watch 9-ball or whatever, and it's you got the best players in the world that are playing road maps, and it just looks simple, and and it becomes mundane and really boring for people, but they're all going. People that don't really understand are looking at it going, well, that's easy. I can do that. And
because they make it look easy.
Right, and it's what they don't know is these guys have cried tears of blood trying to get their games to that level, and and really just broken themselves down and built themselves back up so many different times, to actually do that, and it's a beautiful game. I really love it. So.
Fell in love with it the first time I saw somebody play it.
He's got a chance here, so he just
4 to the 5, just back and forth across the table. Come below the side pocket for the 5, just to take out the. He's rushing. He jumped up a little bit on that. That's not taking the time, staying down, seeing the ball all the way to the hole like he normally would. Sean's fundamentals are usually just really tip-top.
He's tired. I'm pretty sure he's
he's really tired.
Point, so.
He gave up being a car dealer, and where he was up late nights still, just like a pool player was, to take a real job.
He's still. I don't think he still hasn't quite adjusted to the daytime routine yet. Getting up at these really wee hours of the morning and stuff. Yikes.
It's not the pool player side, and even Simon, who I heard you guys talking about Simon, his work. He puts together tables.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I never knew Simon that well, but back in the olden days when I was playing a lot of pool and traveling around, I would see him all over the Northwest and in Reno a couple of times, and I didn't know, if he was anything other than a pool player at that point. And so I learned today, he's got the business and the kids and all that kind of stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. He's got should be a pretty nice little couple ball out here. I just do a little bit of follow with bottom here to get a little bit more angle than that to go off the end rail, the side rail, back down to this left-hand side for the 9-ball.
Right.
Or if you go a little bit too far.
See, see here this is what I like. I just like cinching the 7 and coming off the rail about 3 inches, and then just taking the natural 2 rail, cutting the 8 in the left corner, and the cue ball travels naturally 2 rails toward the bottom left rail and then into the 9. But I think that there's been and see, I think this here. I think he probably has the good angle just to punch it and come down, but
he does.
But
just going to the end rail and back up.
I think he's learned by rattling that ball up in that corner pocket enough times to not really hit it with the speed that he probably would have had to hit it to play my shot.
Yeah.
That's good out.
Figuring out he made a nice out there.
Yeah, and he, and that's Simon's smart. He stopped himself and gathered and thought about the best percentage for him to get out in that spot, and he did exactly what he wanted to do. That's strong.
It's endurance race too. We started this tournament 9 p.m. on Friday night. Some of these guys Simon was one of the ones that was in the room playing until I think 3 o'clock in the morning. We left at almost 4:30.
I was here.
Yep. No. Yeah, I know. You were playing.
I was having fun.
And and to come back in, he didn't have to play until I think I told him like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He walked in the door at noon over here, getting into little, ring game and stuff on the bar box, and then playing all day long, staying till almost 2 o'clock in the morning, and back at 10 a.m. And if that's not an endurance match, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And then the focus, what it does to your brain to focus for that amount of time.
I know. When I come away from a weekend tournament, I feel like I could stay in bed for 2 days straight. Sean got a little bit on. I mean, Simon opened up the balls, didn't make a ball, and Sean's got to look at the 1, 2, 3. But the 5, I think that's the 5, 7, or the 5. Yeah, I think that's it's the 4. The 4, 7 is tied up over there by the left side pocket. So he's gonna have to figure out what to do with that.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
There is so much of this game is mental when you get tired.
Right. Oh yeah.
The focus, and people don't understand it, and you'll start seeing things in the chat room. The later in the tournament gets, the later in the day, and how I can beat this guy and I could do that, but you weren't here playing this whole tournament.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's I mean. It's really easy. I've even caught myself probably being a little bit insensitive, watching stuff online, but it's like once I go to a weekend tournament and I'm in the hot, in the grind of it myself, I'm reminded that, man, it can get, it gets to be, you have to be in shape, you have the conditioning and stuff like that, so. I mean, Sean's not capitalizing, in these last 2 sets, Sean played great in the beginning of the first set, but since then, he hasn't been taxing Simon when on his mistakes. But earlier, when when they played for the point, Sean, tortured Simon for every mistake that he made, and the result is Simon ended up going to the B side. Yeah. So it's, this is a perfect example of both of these guys are tired,
Simon knows that this here is a whole lot more taxing on Sean, rather than just trying to run out and let him sit in his chair coming up and fatigue him more, stress him out on a kick, knowing we're playing the 3-foul rule. You have to put a little more energy into a kick and time and stuff. 2 1/4 inch? What's the ball?
Yeah,
target that you're hitting from 8 feet away. Trying to, it's more taxing on you than just say leaving you a bank shot or or even running out on you. At that point, you're just like, go ahead.
Right.
I
don't know if it's wired or not, Suzanne. I think you might have to cut the 5 a little bit toward the 4 a little toward the rail, but I'm not sure. I'm looking at it from the side, there's about 1.5 inch gap between the 2 balls too, so it's definitely a makeable combination.
Yeah, I can't wait to figure out what happened with this other wiring and stuff, and for the next tournament again have the alternate angle, because from that we would be able to see the gap.
Oh, right, okay.
And they would be able to, we'd be able to show them.
So I don't know if he got him, if he relieved himself away from that 8 ball, if he can see it enough. Yeah. He might be kicking behind.
He may have to kick into the back of this, which may not necessarily be a bad thing. If he can come off the rail and hit it thin and send the cue ball over towards the 9-5 here.
Well, I like that. The only problem, I mean, from here, it doesn't look like, in order to get the cue ball to come off, he would have to hit higher. I think he gets deep. I think actually the 4 ends up coming this way, but he's going this way anyway.
Yeah, he's messing around it a little bit.
Oh, and he missed that. All right. Well, Sean really needs to really take advantage of this spot.
Take a breath, one shot at a time. Get the time, the match, everything out of your head. I know with Sean that first set's gone thought it was gone when it ended. So
Right.
just one roll at a time. And breathe for a minute and give yourself a chance to catch your gear and get back in stroke again and build that confidence up.
Yeah. He jacked himself up.
Yeah.
I know Sean too is probably. I mean, one of the things I know is in his head is it's going on 11 o'clock at night, and he has to get up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he works at 6 a.m. in Redmond or something like this. He's still working for Genie.
No, he got hired at Boeing.
Oh, that's right. He said
Nice
he put
shot.
in his 2 weeks 3 weeks ago, didn't he?
Yeah, so he's in his second or third week of working at Boeing and starting that really, really early shift, and and he invested a lot of himself to take the journey and get out of working in the card rooms and stuff and go to work at Boeing, and he's there, and so he might be pretty conflicted right now with being here, this late, knowing that, because honestly, one of the reasons that Sean plays as well as he does, especially like in a tournament like this, is because his priorities are figured out.
Yeah,
He's a smart guy. He's doing what he wants to do. He plays pool because he loves it, not because, he's not in the clouds. He knows where he wants to be. He's not wanting to be a world champion. He doesn't aspire to quit all of working and
He's got a college education.
Yeah. So I think it's great.
So reflect this ball.
Regardless of what happens here, it's obvious he's fatigued. He's and things aren't going his way right now. And you know what? So what? I mean, the guy had a great tournament, and I'm not counting him out. But right here, this is
Simon's on the hill. And
yeah, but I'm proud of Sean, and congrats to Simon. Gets out here, but great tournament. And
he can say I'm the only one that beat the guy who won the tournament.
Yeah.
If Simon gets out here.
Right.
Simon's come down and left himself on the rail. Fortunately, all he has to do is putt this ball in, and he's on that 9 ball is duck soup. Sean probably isn't going to make him shoot it. Maybe he is.
I like that. I like making everybody shoot everything. It isn't a lack of respect. Too. It's just, that's good tournament. Good match.
That's a great tournament for Simon and for Sean Lewis.
Yep. Yeah, that was great turnout. Thank you, Sherry. Thanks to Kevin for
Thanks, Jeff,
doing
for
everything.
sitting in and
talking this was
with
a
us.
blast. It was a blast. I appreciate you letting me sit here and talk everybody's ears off. No, it was a lot of fun. Look forward to the next one.
Yeah, cool. We'll see you then.
All right.
Thanks,
see you other guys. I'll see you guys all on the stream later. That was fun.
Have a good night.
Good night.